Salt Bae used to be one of the biggest internet memes in the world. Every A-list celebrity showed up at his restaurants. He was viral, flashy, untouchable. But then, things got weird. He got sued by his own employees for stealing tips. He literally set his customers on fire during one of his over-the-top steak shows. He stormed the field during the World Cup final like he owned the place. His restaurants started emptying out, one by one. And most recently, he got kicked out of the Champions League final like a rejected TikToker. Once the king of salt sprinkles, now just a walking meme who doesn't know the party's over. So how did we go from global fame to public embarrassment and empty tables? By the way, 2 years ago, I was in Istanbul asking people what they really think about Salt Bae, aka Nusret. I'll tell you what I heard in a minute. Let's break it all down. Salt Bae really thought he could just waltz into the Champions League final, like it was another TikTok shoot. No invite, no respect, just vibes and a tux that looked like it was stolen from a perfume ad. Bro showed up like he was about to model for cologne, not get yeeted by security in front of thousands. Usually he sneaks in, does a little salt flick, snaps a photo, and dips. But this time, security clocked him from a mile away and said, "Nah, not today, bro." Fans online were cheering for the security team like they'd just scored in the 90th minute. It was that bad. Salt Bae tried to play it cool, lingering around, signing random autographs like, "Yeah bro, I totally belong here," but the vibe was off. He looked less like a celebrity and more like a magician who kept dropping his cards. Then came the denial. He jumped on social media and said, "I wasn't kicked out. I was just passing by." Bro, you showed up in a full tux at night wearing sunglasses. What are you passing by? A rooftop fashion show for raw meat? Cappuccino! Nobody thinks you just casually wandered into the UEFA after party like some guy who smells like ribeye. Let's be real. If this was a one-time L, we'd laugh and move on. But Salt Bae's been spiraling for years, and it all started back in 2022. Argentina had just won the World Cup. Players were crying, hugging, making history. Then out of nowhere, Salt Bae shows up like your cousin's weird ex who somehow got invited, grabs Messi's arm, and begs for a selfie like a fan who slipped past security in a waiter uniform. He didn't just crash the moment, he hijacked it. He walked straight up to Messi, grabbed his arm like he was calling in a favor, and wouldn't let go. And then it got worse. He picked up the actual World Cup trophy, held it like he scored the final goal, and posed like he was the 12th man on the team. This was Argentina's moment. But Salt Bae turned it into a promo shoot starring himself. FIFA was so furious they opened an investigation and banned him from future events. And honestly, that was the turning point. The internet flipped. Salt Bae wasn't the cool viral chef anymore. He was cringe, desperate, even a little creepy. He went from icon to walking red flag. And when people called him out, he claimed he didn't know it was against the rules. Like seriously bro, you didn't know? On live TV, with billions watching.
Why did you go onto the World Cup pitch after the final, touch the World Cup and kiss the World Cup? What were you thinking?
You know, I love Argentina. I love football. And this is the accident. Before I don't know the rules. Now I know the rules. Next World Cup, I never touch the World Cup. I go to, of course, stadium, see the match, but I never touch again.
While Salt Bae's ego kept getting bigger, his restaurants were falling apart. Let's talk numbers. His main steakhouse in London lost almost half its profits. Reviews were brutal. People called it overpriced, all flash, no flavor. One guy dropped 600 pounds on a gold-covered steak and said he left hungrier than when he came in. Now they're begging people to show up with 39-pound lunch specials just to fill the seats. In Boston, his place got shut down for breaking safety rules. New York closed. Miami went down in scandal. And even in Dubai, where he was treated like royalty, his reputation tanked. One food critic literally said, "Great service, but we were the only people there." Yikes. Wow. Salt Bae's real downfall isn't just about being cringe, it's about being obsessed with money. This man once flexed a restaurant bill worth 140 grand, as if scamming someone out of their savings was a win. The receipt? Gold-covered tomahawks, overpriced wine, and a tip big enough to pay off student loans. But here's the thing, none of it was actually worth it. Gold leaf doesn't taste like anything. It's decoration you can get online for 10 bucks. Still, he wrapped basic steaks in glitter and sold the illusion of luxury to people desperate for Instagram likes. Eventually, even the rich realized they were being played. And when your biggest customers start to feel stupid, the whole brand starts to fall apart. Behind all the gold and theatrics, things were way darker than anyone expected. Former employees said Salt Bae was secretly taking 3% of their tips. They claimed he took staff passports, humiliated workers in public, and acted like labor laws didn't apply to him. In one case, 4 people got fired just for asking where their tips went. They said working for him wasn't a job, it was a steak cult. Salt Bae wasn't running restaurants. He was managing his gold-plated ego with a side of a fear on every table. Just when you thought it couldn't get worse, it did. At his Istanbul restaurant, one of those flashy tableside fire shows went horribly wrong. Flames shot up out of nowhere. 4 customers were literally set on fire. One of them, a Russian model, suffered third-degree burns on over 35% of her body. And how did Salt Bae's team handle it? They destroyed the security footage. No apology, no compensation, just silence. Like, bro, you turned your steakhouse into a horror movie crossover and still acted like it was business as usual. In Miami, a guy got served the gold steak by mistake, and when he complained, they called the cops. He paid $1,000 just to walk out free. And now, Salt Bae's whole empire is collapsing. His follower count is barely moving. His engagement has dropped off a cliff. People are clowning him in every comment section. His restaurants are leaking money, and his entire image, it's not luxury anymore. It's parody. But the sad part is, he still doesn't get it. He thinks he's still winning, when really, he became the meme that nobody's laughing with anymore. He had the chance to turn a viral moment into something real. Instead, he wrapped ego in gold foil and called it success. When I was in Istanbul, bro, I asked people what they really thought of Salt Bae. Some still saw him as a hero, but most said he embarrassed himself by grabbing Messi's arm during the World Cup final. And they believe that's when everything started going downhill. What annoyed people the most? The insane prices and the fact that the food just doesn't taste the same anymore. He opened too many restaurants too fast and lost the flavor. He used to have 7 spots in the US now, only 2 are left standing. His brand value, it dropped from $2 billion to $1.5 billion. And hey, if you've ever cringed on someone else's behalf, you're one of us, bro. We've built a little community here. Good people, same vibe. Don't forget to hit follow. Salt Bae isn't just ruining his own brand. He's dragging others down with him. Like the time Venezuelan President Nicolas Maduro visited his Istanbul restaurant during a literal food crisis in Venezuela. While millions of people back home were barely eating 1 meal a day, Maduro sat down to eat a gold-covered steak worth over $1,000. The backlash was instant. Protesters surrounded Salt Bae's Miami restaurant. He stayed silent. But for Maduro, the damage was massive. Demonstrations erupted across Venezuela and lasted for days. One steak triggered a national outcry. Salt Bae still acts like he's the king of luxury, posing with gold knives, standing on cliffs like he's in a perfume ad, but no one's clapping anymore. The illusion's gone. He didn't crash overnight. He crumbled slowly, steak by steak, scandal by scandal. He wasn't a chef. He was a meme with a menu. And now that the meme isn't funny, the brand isn't either. What's left? Just a guy stuck in 2017, sprinkling salt on silence.